Got a nice little media access journalism corruption story for you this morning. Let's throw this tear sheet up. So MSNBC's Stephanie Ruhle, who is not only an anchor, she's a senior business analyst, I think is her title at NBC News, filmed promotional spots for JP Morgan Chase. This is, of course, one of the banks that she's supposed to be covering in an adversarial way as a journalist there at NBC and also at MSNBC. She's previously interviewed Jamie Dimon, who's the head of JP Morgan Chase.
And a billionaire.
And also a billionaire, by the way. Let's take a look at a little bit of the little preview that she filmed for Chase Bank.
Hey, this is Stephanie Ruhle, and I'm looking forward to my conversation with Chase, where we talk about life's unpredictable moments and how important it is to save and plan for them. I hope you're going to join us. Jay Williams and I are going to dig into all the crazy things we're dealing with in our lives right now and how we can best prepare for them. I'm excited to be part of Chase Chat's webcast. I hope you'll join us.
I cannot
Chase Chats.
believe that. Krystal, and you were showing me she didn't even get paid for this.
No.
It's like, what? So that honestly, I think that makes it worse because at least if you're selling out, I almost respect it in a way. It's an exchange of goods and services.
Direct.
Okay, but this is just like, oh, I'm friends with JP Morgan, want to help them out. It just happens to be one of the world's largest banks, one of those banks that I report on. I report on their CEO. I interview their CEO.
Why do you think she gets that interview?
I know.
That's the deal.
I mean, this is, but here's the thing. At least usually they try to hide it. At least they try. At least they go to the same parties usually, and then when the photographer comes by, they're like, not here. We all know how it works.
So she filmed. I know it's just completely blatant. And so she filmed this segment. This is how the Washington Post describes it. This is not my language. This is theirs. In her segment for Chase Chats, Ruhle, who's also the senior business correspondent, that's the title for NBC News, offers generic bank-friendly advice, all of it framed by Chase's logo in a conversation with ESPN analyst and NBA alumnus Jay Williams. She says, saving is always the answer. Please save as much as you can and plan ahead.
Okay, so let's recall who Stephanie Ruhle exactly is. Remember when Joe Biden framed the election as Park Avenue versus Main Street, or Scranton versus Park Avenue?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
like one of the better lines from his campaign.
Probably the only good line from his campaign. And this is the only person on earth who fell down on the Park Avenue side being like, why is he being so divisive? Let's take a listen.
Michael, Joe Biden said yesterday that his campaign is Scranton versus Park Avenue. Why is he going with this divide and conquer approach? That's Trump's thing. What about a message for all Americans? I don't live on Park Avenue, but I live pretty close to it. And you know how I got there? Working my butt off. He doesn't want my vote?
No.
That message brought to you by Chase. The one thing, MSNBC has not criticized Joe Biden about anything. This was the one thing that they were like, oh, wow, that's way too far. And here's the thing, is this was really blatant and out in the open. Like you said, she does this Chase Chats thing. She'd previously had an interview with Jamie Dimon. You can see that she's not even getting paid. The expectation is just, I'll continue to get these interviews that are helpful for me.
That's right.
With the understanding that they're probably going to be fairly softball interviews. She's never going to push too hard. This is a microcosm, though, of what happens at these news organizations all day long. When you, especially a place like MSNBC that is really decided that they're on Team Democrat and their whole audience is Team Democrat and it's just this partisan, blue no matter who organization, Fox, of course, the same on the right, they don't want to challenge then people in power because they need that access. They need to be in the club. They need to be able to get their interviews. Remember how Hillary Clinton's person threatened Ronan Farrow?
Yes, that's
with
right.
Withholding her interview that he wanted to get as a separate segment because she was tied in with Harvey Weinstein. This is the way that this all goes down, and this was just a particularly blatant and obvious example.
Let's not even assign as much nefarious intentions. Maybe she used to work on Wall Street. Maybe she's friends with these people. And maybe that's worse, which is now she's a reporter, and she's friends with these people, and she wants to do Chase Bank a solid, at maybe a hard time for them, even though their profits are doing just fine, by the way. But this is what happens when you have that intertwinement, and you would be an idiot to think that it doesn't impact her journalism, her reporting, and her analysis, as evidenced by that Park Avenue thing, and that is significant.
There you go. All right, more rising for you after this.